What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Owning the Weight. My name is Abby, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Jillian. And this is the podcast where we go over all things wellness, nutrition, and business. And today we have Mary Kurtz with us, which is so exciting.
Yeah, we work with Mary. Mary is our nutrition analyst and manager of menu development here at Fit Flavors. And we thought it would be so fun to bring her on and really walk you guys through the process behind creating a new menu and what all goes on with that. And kind of give you like a peek behind the kimono.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
She's also a new mom, a new fur mom to the cutest little boy on the face of the planet. His name is Pretzel.
It's even a food name.
Yeah.
It's not gluten-free, though.
He's definitely a foodie. Anytime we heat up like food at the office, he's like right there. He's great.
Best pup.
He is the best pup. But so menu development, it's always a process that I love to be a part of. Because I get to taste all the yummy food, a little research and development, if you will. So whenever you guys are developing a new menu item, where does the whole process start?
Oh my God. I'm gonna let you answer that.
Yeah, it's gone through like multiple, I guess,
Starting
transitions throughout my time being here and working on it. But currently, this week could go on for like days. Probably. But currently, we always tend to look at like the old or the current menu and seeing like if we're switching like to different seasons, so like warmer months to colder months, vice versa. So that's like the biggest thing probably for seasonality, we would say.
Yeah, it's definitely organized chaos. I mean, I think we're fortunate. We probably even take for granted. We've been working together with this for probably 6 years now.
Yeah.
She gets me and I get her.
And you guys work very well together.
Oh my gosh, it's like yin and yang.
Yeah.
And we sit down and we just have so much information we're considering. And I mean, we take in sales, we take into account sales, we take into account seasons. And then we go even deeper into like balancing out cuisines and then also to like dietary restrictions. And then another thing we'll consider too, which people probably don't realize this, but just cross-utilization of products for production and the flow of our team. You know, we can't have too many things on the grill or we can't make too many patty burgers. And like, so we have to think about like production now as far as like what certain stations can manage on
and
a
making
menu.
it the most like efficient.
Yeah, like we can't have too many knife cuts at one time on the menu or it's just going to be so much labor in knife cuts. So we have to have a balance of like all those things too. That kind of is that kind of alters our creative process, I would say really a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we have to accommodate production, you know, but it's part of the game of menu development because I mean it's what our team can handle. So like we think about that even down to packaging. We're like we have too many items with too many components. That was one of the things that we started doing was doing 4-component meals instead of 7-component meals.
Too many sauces. That was another thing.
Oh yeah.
On the side.
Like how many sauces and marinades do we make on like a given menu?
I would say, I mean, all sauces, probably like 15. 15?
And marinades?
Yeah, maybe 20 with the marinades. But then like we also do like our own spice blends too. Which like
and stock.
Yeah.
We make our own stock.
Duh.
I mean, I should have known, but I did not know.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever like take into consideration like customer feedback whenever you're building the menus?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
We can see that in the sales too, like what's like not doing hot. That's a big thing.
I think we were looking yesterday. We just put swordfish on the menu for the first time, which is a completely different like fish, and it wasn't selling as well as we thought it would, and we want to give it another opportunity. We think it might be the sides that are being served with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be too foodie.
Oh, okay.
As in what Jillian would say.
Yeah. It's a little, it's a little like people want to go where the things are safe, like cheeseburger bowl and buffalo chicken and mac and cheese.
Cheeseburger bowl, it's the best meal on the menu.
Yeah, it is.
Comes with the ketchup packet now.
It's by far outsells all the other meals by a long shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Like 1,000. No joke.
Thousands.
Yeah, literally like thousands.
Oh my gosh. So whenever you guys are thinking of a new dish, how do you guys strike a balance between flavor and nutrition?
Yeah. I mean, if I go creative with like a meal, I'll give her the recipe and then she'll run the numbers and then we'll look at it and be like, ugh.
Yeah, the numbers being the nutrition label.
Yeah, and she'll be like, this is too high, or we maybe we want to increase one of the macros or something like that. And so we have to alter the recipe to get the numbers we want. So it's kind of like a game.
So whenever you're talking about numbers, you're talking about macros. And what else are you talking about?
Like sodium, saturated fat,
sugar,
like fiber,
added sugar. We look a lot at added sugar because you got natural sugar in carrots, tomatoes, those type of vegetables, and they'll add a couple grams, but like we try. I mean,
we keep it under 10 for all of our meals and snacks for added sugar.
Yeah,
that's like our cap, and then like for just another number, sodium, we keep our meals under 770.
Yeah. And the way we got there,
math.
The way we got there was like the recommended amount of sodium.
Yeah, daily allowance is 3,500.
2,300.
2,300.
Yeah, so 7, 14, 21.
Oh my gosh! So every single time you guys sit down to create a new meal, you're going through all.
That was a joke. I go 7, 14, 21, 27.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's 28. I know that, but I said 27 one time.
It was a brain fart.
No one will let me live that down. I swear 7s were like my favorite times table too when I was a kid. And I messed that one up, and now no one will let me live that down. No, but we figured even if you got 3 meals from Fit Flavors, you still would be within your daily allowance.
Right. So what role does nutrition play in the early stages of menu development?
Yeah, I think obviously a big one. We're pretty like, I wouldn't say like robotic, but like we know what works within our portion sizes. So it typically is always going to be like whatever we make is going to be pretty much in the lines. The only ones where we get kind of like have to go back to the drawing board is like sodium. It's probably the biggest one.
Yeah, it's
with sauces.
Sodium.
Oh.
Yeah, or even sugar too.
Yeah. It always hides.
Or like if we do something like a salad, sometimes we get in trouble with fat.
Yeah.
Because you want salad dressing, cheese, nuts, and then olives, and just like all the fat. And it's like, whoa. Yeah. I think the most we've ever done was like 35 grams of fat on a salad. And we
40.
And we were super restrictive, like in measuring. And you think like when you go out somewhere and they're not, you could easily be getting 80 or 90 grams of fat on a salad.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like obviously salads have this
connotation of being healthy.
Right. Yeah. And then there's all these hidden things that people don't think about. That's why Fit Flavors is so great, guys.
Like olives. We give 5 olives. I think like 4 or 5 grams of fat. And
we give 3 olives.
Now we give 3 olives. Used to be 5.
That's all you get. Used to be 5.
At your house, maybe.
Add on a couple more. It's fine. So obviously, high quality ingredients is very important to who Fit Flavors is as a business. So how do you guys decide which ingredients to feature in a new dish?
Do you mean like with a seasonal menu?
I would say any ingredients, like whether it's like seasonal produce or what the kind of oils we use, like. How do you guys decide that?
I mean, me and her created a food standard, I think.
Yeah.
Ingredient standard long time ago.
It's a lot of like, we were not going to use like corn syrup. If we tend to use like a canned fruit or something, we're not going to have like high fructose corn syrup or even like added sugars in those type of things. And then
I mean, we
put like a lot of like the extra stuff.
Yeah,
isn't needed.
We have pretty strict guidelines for what products are coming in, especially the processed products, because that's where, like she said, a lot of the hidden stuff is. Like if you're not, you can get you think, let's put tangerines on a salad, and they're just in corn syrup. So like finding the right one that isn't, and sourcing the right one, and sometimes we have to go special order through Cisco, or even sometimes they will partner with like certain import companies that will get some of our specialty products from. Like she jumped through a lot of hoops to get the bonzo pasta on our menu, just the last menu changeover.
Yeah, that's something I wasn't going to budge on.
Yeah.
Because you have like your we have it as a vegetarian meal, or actually it's vegan. And if we were to switch to like another gluten-free pasta, it won't have that protein content. So that was one of those things where I'm like, sorry guys.
Yeah, better for the consumer.
Yeah, too. Like, and we
sure.
also noticed, like, people don't think about this, but we were dealing with producing all this gluten-free pasta. If you've ever cooked gluten-free pasta, gets a little gummy. Imagine cooking 20 boxes together.
Right.
It was the water. And so the product was breaking and it was getting gummy. And like, it was not yielding a good quality product that we were hoping for. And we were running into this like, oh, do we go back to whole wheat? We love the whole wheat pasta, but then it's not gluten-free. So the Bonza was just giving us a better result.
Yeah.
What percentage of our menu would you guys say is gluten-free?
Almost all
Like
of
it.
it.
Yeah,
now.
almost all of it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, we could just name
like
off the things that aren't.
Yeah, farmer's breakfast and
I mean, you changed the peanut butter balls, right?
Yeah.
They used to have ice cream
There
sandwich.
might be one more that I can't think of, but yeah, farmer's breakfast. I think
And that's
the only
because
one.
we make the English muffins in house with like a wheat flour.
Yeah.
And they're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
We switched over the soy sauce. We switched over our panko breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
We used to use one of First Form's ice cream sandwich cookie protein powder. We tried to just switch to the plain vanilla because it had traces of gluten in it. And then we had another. What else did we used to have that had gluten in it?
Sometimes we do the whole wheat pasta. Like next menu,
Yes,
we're
correct.
going to have a whole wheat pasta on it.
And it sells
And
really well.
yeah.
It does.
It's not that it's bad. It's just we want to provide the options for people.
Mm-hmm.
who opt for gluten-free.
Yeah, and we get certified gluten-free oats too,
Mm-hmm.
because not all oats are gluten-free. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So,
Wait, was it?
oh, truly.
I don't know if that'll come through.
But whenever you guys are sitting down and starting to get inspiration for a new menu item, where are you getting the inspiration from?
Pinterest.
We go to Pinterest a lot. So
Pinterest.
it's so funny. Old school me was like living in clean eating and cooking light magazines. I still have them all at my house. I have like a little bit of a connection to them, and I can't get rid of them. I still pull them out and look at the pictures. A lot of times I'm driven by the photography.
Yeah,
So
same.
we look a lot at like colors,
Mhm.
and then just seeing different vegetable combinations for me is what's so interesting that I'm looking for. I know this sounds weird, but like keeping people intrigued to eat their vegetables is one of my goals at Fit Flavors. Like you can eat green beans, you can eat broccoli, they're always there, but it's the combinations we'll do with like water chestnuts and red bell peppers and carrots, or we have right now on the menu butternut squash with caramelized onions and Brussels sprouts with cranberries. Like,
yeah, or even putting a sauce on them, like a Italian marinade, or we did chimichurri on veggies once, or pesto.
we did herbs,
Yeah,
herbs prawns. We like just switching up vegetables and making them more interesting really like takes a dish to another level.
Yeah.
So I think I get a lot of inspiration from looking at photography and just saying, okay, is that something I can translate into a meal? And then also too, I get a lot of inspiration from going to nice restaurants
Yeah.
and just experiencing the menu. And it could be one thing. It's not even like my meal. It could be like one thing I see on the menu, like a combination of two ingredients, or like a sauce that I wouldn't think of with a protein. And like, how can I translate that to our menu? It's just seeing things done differently.
Yeah.
That's how I get my inspiration.
I will say I always love going out to eat with Jillian because she gets like 17 things off the menu, and she will look at the waiter and she's like, I'm so sorry. But she's like, can I also get this and this and this and this?
I did order three treats and a breakfast today from Coma Coffee. I just wanted Mary to try all those.
We went to like an Indian place and she was literally surrounded by food. It was like a fort of food.
It was like a just testing all the flavors.
Yeah.
A lot of turmeric.
What was that place we went to? Flavors.
Flavors?
It's really good.
It was
Off
very good.
Manchester, if you're local to St. Louis. So once you guys, have the idea, you figured out the ingredients, now you go to test it. What does the testing process look like? And who all tastes it? Who gives feedback? Like, what does that all look like?
Yeah, that kind of varies for, I guess, a few things. So meals, we'll kind of do like a small test batch for the most part. And then if this is something that we want to like test in a large scale, make like 200 meals or something. That way we know we can do it in production. Then we'll go that route and we'll sell it as a chef creation, which is great because I know customers give great feedback on them, which is super helpful.
And like, there's a lot of bumps we'll face in the road with this. Like, I'll make something and I'll make 6 or 8 of them, and we love it. And then we try to translate. Like, I made meatloaf for this for one of the upcoming menus, and like, I swear I was like, we're gonna do this, and then
like, no.
we tried to mass produce it.
Oh no!
And the chef was like, I didn't even want to mess with those meatloaf
Oh, but it
pans.
was so good.
So he converted them into burgers.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
and
they're
he
so good.
presented, he's like, I'm
Innovation.
sorry, but we're just not doing meatloaf. And I was like, this works, you know,
Yeah.
like the flavor profiles there, the concept of the meal has changed a little bit, but I think the flavor was so amazing that it's still going to be a great experience. And we just had to figure out, how do we mass produce this? So that's the challenge that I think sometimes we'll face. And we're like, oh, we just go to the drawing board back and forth and back and forth, because cooking one thing in your house does not translate. It's not apples to apples in production at all.
Same with baking.
It's like, dude, I love whenever Mary's testing a new snack because she
always
brings
something.
in pans or like bags of
literally.
snacks.
More
Recently,
than
it's
you
been
can eat.
Recently, it's been the sugar cookie bar.
Sugar cookie bars for our dessert holiday menu.
They're very delicious. They're really good.
Yeah,
I think is it still being worked on, or did it have it?
it's like 99% there.
Okay.
One more little test.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and that's just because she wants it to be just a little shorter.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just altering the recipe for the batch size.
Yeah.
Something so small like that. Maybe it's maybe it's for consistency. Maybe it's for macros. Maybe it's for food cost. Whatever the reason is, it's just like, it still needs to be altered a little bit. So you just keep going and going till you get it right.
Yeah. So whenever you kind of answered this question already, but whenever you guys, get feedback saying that something needs to be adjusted, whether it be the thickness of a sugar cookie bar or changing the meatloaf to a burger, how do you guys take that feedback and implement those changes while staying true to like the nutritional profile that you've already created?
You want to go? I could start off by saying we're always true to the nutritional profile.
Yeah, that's not going to alter.
That's our promise. Like that's like our rule, like our standard, So are you saying like with one recipe that changes due to feedback? I mean, the recipe might change, so the macros might have to change. Is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Yeah, but
like what does that process look like? Just back to the drawing board, like the same process as...
I mean, we get a lot of feedback. We encourage our customers to give our associates feedback. Like anything that you let an associate know in the store, it's getting put on our internal chat channel, and Mary and I see it. So we kind of analyze all feedback, good, positive. I mean, even Google feedback, like we're seeing it. And, obviously people have opinions, but then there's trends, you'll hear some of the same stuff. Also, sales don't lie. So we can tell if an item, like she said, if it's not selling, like even if we like it, we take it off. Do you remember when I made this chicken and we called it something and it wouldn't sell, and then we changed the product name and it
The
sold?
harissa chicken, isn't it? Wasn't it?
I think we did with that. There was another one too. But sometimes just the product name will scare people because it's something they're not familiar with. That's where, like you were saying, it's foodie. Where if we make it less foodie, it's less intimidating and more people will try it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It's weird. It's like psychological.
What would you guys say is the most challenging part of coming up with new menu items?
I know for me. What about for you?
Probably if it's not working like test wise and you want it to work, that's probably like the most frustrating thing.
You deal
Like,
a lot of that with baking.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
She does all the baking. I do none of the baking.
Yeah. But I think knowing what you want and what you envision, and it's not executing properly, that's probably the biggest frustration and like hurdle. But
I think for me,
like
it's offering like low carb options.
That
It's
true.
definitely a necessity for our business to have low carb options. So double veg. but also making them to where other people, maybe who might not be on a diabetic or low carb diet, might still enjoy. Like I think our most successful meal is our chicken parmesan. Like it comes with spaghetti squash, and it's switched from broccolini
to spinach.
spinach.
Yeah.
But you get a good piece of breaded chicken with some parmesan and some homemade marinara.
Yeah.
But sometimes people just feel like, veggies aren't enough. But then you have people who seek out those meals at Fit Flavors that have the LC on them, which means 25 grams of carbohydrates or less. And so it's how do I make those dishes intriguing so they sell enough to where we can keep them on the menu? I mean, we went through so many different trials and errors. What was the one we were talking about the other day that we came up with?
Oh, the balsamic.
Was it balsamic salmon?
Salmon.
I don't know. We're just always trying to find cool ways to introduce veggies and get people off the chicken. I'm sorry, get people off the broccoli and green beans and give them other options. It's nice.
I always love listening to you guys talk about the menu because you guys are speaking just like a totally different language.
We're nerds.
Oh, dude, nerding out like math equations going on Mary's phone. And then she's like, what about this? And then blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's very entertaining to watch. So how do you guys see the Fit Flavors menu evolving within the next few years?
I would love for us. So we just most recently this year have moved to a more frequent offering. We used to offer a new menu like every 12 weeks. Now it's like 7-8 weeks we're offering new menus. Like when her and I start to get our grounds under us, I think it would be really cool if we could find a way to really execute on our chef creations on the rig.
That's how I was actually, I wrote that down for my
goal.
Because
that would be so cool. Then we would have chef creations weekly, bi-weekly.
That'd be
who knows?
Really cool.
Like if we were just constantly creating new dishes. So it's just fun. It just requires logistics. It's a logistics. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Communication, organization, projections, measurements, like all that. So, but I think that would be, I think the customers would love that. And it excites me because it's more food to play with.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, we hope you guys had a fun time today getting a sneak peek of behind the scenes menu creation with Fit Flavors. Fit Flavors is local to St. Louis. There's 6 area locations, so pop in if you are local. Or you can check us out at www.fit-flavors.com. You can check out our nutrition blogs and all the resources we have there. And we'll catch you next time.